welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about technology. So first, think about this. What's better, Google Maps or Waze? Which one do you use? Now, how would you get to new places if you couldn't use any of them? Please think about this so we can share in class. Great. Now we're going to listen to an audio. I want you to please decide if these statements are true or if they are false. Let's listen.
Page 52, Unit 5, Progress. Lesson A. Out with the old. 1. Vocabulary in context. B. Read the article from a hiker's blog. Which items in the photos are mentioned?
The most rudimentary instrument that has been widely used for centuries to find direction is the magnetic compass. It was probably invented by the Chinese and was based on the metal lodestone, which had long been admired for its ability to point toward north. Countless lives have undoubtedly been saved over the centuries on land and at sea thanks to the compass, which functions equally well in daylight, darkness, or thick fog. Even in our electronic age, magnetic compasses are still being made, and their basic design has not changed for centuries. They are compact, functional, and portable. Toward the end of the 20th century, alternatives to the compass were being intensively developed, and significant advances were made, thanks to satellite technology. GPS is now an integral part of our daily lives, making moving maps, communicating with smartphones, and offering handheld location devices. It had originally been developed for military purposes, but it soon became part of everyday technology. And innovative ways to use GPS, from tracking migrating birds to helping golfers judge their shots, are continually being found through ongoing research. The system has already been incorporated into aircraft and ship design as standard, and many other technologies also derive considerable benefit from it. But what about the humble compass? Is it obsolete now? Has it been completely forgotten? We'd like to hear your views.
Okay, let's go ahead and check. The magnetic compass is a modern invention. False. It is thought that the magnetic compass was invented by the Chinese. True, of course. As a result of using the compass, many lives have been saved. True. The compass and the GPS have nothing in common. That's false. GPS has been used to track many things, such as birds' migration. True, right? Great. Now, I wanted to go to student book page 53, exercise 2A. We need to rewrite the sentences into the passive form. If you want, you can check the article on the previous page to help you. Pause the video while you work on this. Okay, let's check. Number 1. New applications for GPS have continually been found. Number 2. The compass was still being used by all serious hikers until very recently. 3. Has the compass been completely replaced by GPS? And 4. The compass had originally been developed by the Chinese. So, if you remember to form the passive, what we need to do first is to identify the doer and the receiver of an action, right? The subject and the object. And we're going to basically change the place of both of them. We'll start our sentences with the object. And then to form the passive verb, we're going to use verb to be and the past participle of our verb as a general rule. And of course, if you need to say who or what does the action, you will use by. Like by serious hikers, by GPS, or by the Chinese. Now, I want you to please pause the video and read the sentences. What do they have in common? If you notice, all of them have adverbs. Continually, still, completely, etc. Let's take a look at how to use them. So, if you remember, adverbs are used to modify adjectives, verbs, or other adverbs. Now, in most cases, adverbs follow the this pattern. They go after the first auxiliary verb, usually verb to be or have. For example, GPS has already been incorporated into aircraft. It had originally been developed for military use. If you notice here, we have the auxiliary verb has or even had, and then we have our adverb. The same would happen if we had a verb to be, am, is, are, was, or were. Now, some of the adverbs that take this pattern are already, always, apparently, continually, currently, finally, fortunately, just, long, probably, repeatedly, sadly, since, and still. Now, that say how much, or that describe the participle tend to be used before the participle. Look at the examples. Alternatives to the compass were being intensively developed. In this case, as you can see, the participle is developed, and that's why before it we're using the adverb. It's not after verb to be, were, right? Look at the other example. It has been widely used. Here, once again, we have the participle used, and is used right before it. It is not after has. Some of the adverbs that take this form are badly, completely, greatly, intensively, largely, seriously, and widely. Lastly, some adverbs can be in both positions. Look at this. GPS is increasingly being used, or GPS is being increasingly used. It has previously been used. It has been previously used. If you notice, the adverb is being either used after the auxiliary, or verb to be or have, or it's being right before the past participle. Some others that take these forms could be continually, generally, increasingly, initially, largely, originally, and previously. Now, I want you to please pause the video and correct the sentences. Okay, so the first one is not correct. The second one is not correct either. The first one, the number 3 is correct, of course, and the last one is incorrect. We're going to check the corrections during our lesson. Now, I want you to please go to your workbook page 35, exercise A. Here, we're going to complete the article using the adverbs in parentheses in the correct position. Please notice that sometimes there's more than one correct answer. For example, let's see. Who wouldn't want a personal jetpack? Ever since James Bond was seen launching off in the 1965 movie Thunderball, the personal jetpack has been eagerly anticipated as an alternative form of transportation. We are still waiting. However, innovative gadgets are continually being invented or being continually invented in the fields of transportation, energy, and communication at even faster rates than ever before. The amount of money that has reportedly been injected or that has been reportedly injected into the development of new technology in the last decade is unprecedented. Every major corporation and every new company wants to be the first to come up with the best-selling idea. With the kind of money that is being heavily invested in these fields, there will definitely be more groundbreaking innovation, even if we don't know what it is yet. This is especially true because most of the research and development of new technologies has apparently been done under a shield of secrecy. And what about that personal jetpack? I would bet that development is still being worked on somewhere. I plan to be one of the first in line when it finally comes onto the market. Did you get this right? Great. Now, we're going to continue working in our workbook, but this time on exercise B. We need to write the sentences, specifically the underlined clauses, into the passive and add the verbs in parentheses. Let's do the first one. They were developing hybrid cars intensively. First, let's identify the subject and the object. Of course, the subject is they and the object is hybrid cars. So, let's start the sentence with the object. Hybrid cars were being intensively developed long before they were in the market. Remember that to form the passive, apart from changing the position of your object, you need to use verb to be in the same tense as it was in the original sentence, and then you're going to use the past participle of your verb. Now, please pause the video and work on the rest, please. We're going to check in class.